Hey there, welcome to another edition of the Best Damn Sports Show on YouTube and Streamio.com today, TXN Sports World. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and Michael Bullock. We apologize for the late start. We were, awaiting the end of the Ranger game, among other things, but nonetheless, we're here, and you know how we do it. But we're gonna switch it up a little bit differently tonight. We're gonna start it with the Celtics chat, then we're gonna get into the Bruins beat, and we're going to save the best for last. Wink, wink. And that is the Rangers Roundup. So that being said, let's not waste any more time, gentlemen. Let's dive right on in, as it was last night, Game 3 of the first round series, the Eastern Conference quarterfinal series in the NBA playoffs. Michael Bullock's Boston Celtics squaring off against the Miami Heat. And the Boston Celtics, a team on a mission. For 2 days, the Boston Celtics lamented getting beaten on their home floor, and when they finally got to play again, they let out all the frustration. The result, a defensive masterpiece. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown each scored 22 points to lead a balanced approach, and the Celtics soundly beat the Miami Heat 104-84 last night to take a 2-1 lead in their Eastern Conference first-round playoff series. Game 4 is tomorrow night in Miami, where the Celtics are 9-2 in their last 11 games and 6-1 in their last 7 playoff games. Jason Tatum added 10 rebounds and 6 assists for the Celtics, who led Game 3 wire to wire and reclaimed the home court edge that they lost when Miami won Game 2 in Boston. Kristaps Porzingis had 18 points and Derek White scored 16. The last time either team saw these kind of numbers, Boston on defense, Miami on offense, was Game 5 of the 2022 Eastern Conference Finals, a 93-80 Celtics road win that helped them reach that season's NBA Finals. The Heat had scored more than 84 points in every game since, and the Celtics had allowed more than 84 in every game since. And bounce-back efforts have been a trend for Boston this season. The Celtics, the number one overall seed in these playoffs, don't lose often. When they do, they tend to just come out and win their next one. Boston is now 15-4 in the game immediately following a loss this season, with an average margin of victory of 12.2 points. They never trailed in Game 1, a 114-94 win, and never trailed in Game 3 either, on its way to beating Miami for the 5th time in 6 meetings this season. So nothing else left to say here. Let's get into the numbers here. For the Celtics, of course, it was the dynamic duo, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, each with 22. Tatum had 22 and 11 rebounds. Jaylen Brown, 22 and 8 rebounds. Porzingis with 18. White with 16. Horford had 9 off the bench. Pritchard with 7 off the bench. And for Miami, it was Bam Adebayo who led the way with 20, along with 9 rebounds. Jovic had 15 points and 8 rebounds. And Highsmith had 8. And Patty Mills with 7 off the bench, but to no avail. Celtics 47.6% from the field. Miami 41.6% from the field. 3-point shooting, not good on either side. Boston was 11 of 37, 29.7%. Miami 9 of 28, 32%. Free throws, Miami 15 of 21, 71% from the line. Miami was 11 of 14, 78.6% from the line. Rebounds, 10-9 Boston. Offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, 33-27 Boston. Overall, 43-36 Boston. Assists, Boston 22, Miami 21. Boston had 4 steals. Miami had 2 steals. Celtics with 6 blocks. Heat with 2. Celtics committed only 6 turnovers. Heat committed 12 turnovers. And Celtics scored 24 points off those turnovers. Miami only 4. Fast break points, 6-2 in favor of Miami. Points in the paint, 42-34 Boston. Heat committed 14 fouls. Celtics committed 16. The Heat had 1 technical foul. Miami never lead. Boston led by as many as 29. And the Boston Celtics defeat the Miami Heat 104-84. Take a 2-1 lead in this series. Game 4 tomorrow night in Boston. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, huge day when it comes to your teams yesterday. And all three of your teams, they showed up yesterday. In addition to this, the Red Sox put a 17-0 whooping on the Chicago Cubs. But that's not relevant to what we're doing here tonight. Celtics, they got embarrassed in game 2 on their home floor. And they're like, yeah, we're not going to take that lying down. So they came back and they pretty much played almost the exact same way in game 1, wire to wire. Big win.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, this to me was a better effort by the Celtics last night. I mean, now this is the team that had the best record in the NBA during the regular season. I mean, they came out and they played as a team last night, and it was a balanced effort, like you said, with Tatum and Brown with 22, Porzingis with 18, 16 from Derek White, and the defense definitely played a lot better. So they get that home court advantage right back, and now it's onward to game number 4 tomorrow night in Miami. So we'll see how it plays out. I mean, can the Celtics go back home to the TD Garden with a chance to finish off the Miami Heat and get some retribution? We'll find out. But right now, it's all about tomorrow night. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. I mean, it's yours, Florio.
Well, let's get MF's thoughts on this. MF, dominant wire to wire win for the Celtics, a must win for them after they got embarrassed in game 2.
And the one thing that I was telling you guys about in that game too was that Miami was drowning the 3-point bombs. This time around, 9 for 28. That's all that Miami did. Basically, Boston dared them to hit their threes, and Miami could not do it. Now, Boston's no better. They were 11 for 37. Again, if I'm the Boston Celtics, stop living and dying by the 3-point shot. You don't need it. You saw what happened in the game. This time around, you had almost 48% shooting. Basically, if I'm Boston, just take it to the hole. Miami cannot stop you. Miami cannot do anything about it. Get the perimeter shot going. But if I'm coaching the Boston Celtics, I'm telling the boys, stop with the threes. Go and take the ball to the hole. Explode to the bucket. Get the easy twos. Because once they respect the two, because at that point, they got to respect your twos. Once they start doing that, then go for the 3-point bucket. Then try to go for the knockout punch. But when you start living and dying by the threes and making these mistakes, that's how you can get these guys back in it. Yes, it was wire to wire. Yes, it was a great performance. But at the end of the day, if I'm the Celtics, and the Celtics has been known for this, that they get a little too trigger happy trying to shoot the three. Look, consistency, great defense, which they had last night. That was incredible defense. You do that, you're winning the series in 5. It's a gentleman's sweep, boys. But Boston just got like it. This is if there's anything that I can nitpick on the Celtics, that's probably gonna be my nitpick. Other than that, it was a flawless performance, and without a doubt, they deserve to win that game. So, Anthony, it's yours.
Well, MF, keep your mic on because, well, now we're going to get into the Stanley Cup portion of this, and before I do that, I mean, I'll give a quick thought. I mean, yes, great win by the Boston Celtics. I mean, you know, the Miami Heat definitely, you know, I'm sure they had that confidence and they had their confidence and their swagger back. You know, after that big win, that huge win in game 2 in Boston, and they were going home thinking, okay, we got them right where we want them. Yeah, nobody told the Celtics that. And Boston dominates wire to wire, 104 to 84. Very impressive win. And we'll see if they can keep it up, because tomorrow is definitely a must win for Miami, because they do not want to go back to Boston down 3-1, because they'll be in big trouble if that happens. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night in game number 4, which we will have as part of Ridiculously Raw tomorrow night. All right. So with that being said, we're going to move on now to the Stanley Cup portion of it. And good old MF Michael Fletcher, the voice of the Stanley Cup playoffs, of course. Game 4. Also last night, the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Bruins were up 2-1. A must-win game for the Toronto Maple Leafs, to say the very least. And, well, unfortunately, after what happened last night, it could be the beginning of the end for them yet again.
Yes, indeed. The Boston Bruins absolutely dominated, winning the game, also going wire to wire with no problems. 3-1 the final score, as the Boston Bruins is now 1 win away from advancing to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoff, as they have pushed Toronto to the verge of elimination. The game started early on with JVR, James Van Riemsdyk, scoring the goal at 15:09. That gave the Bruins a 1-0 lead. Then in the second period, it was Brad Marchand scoring the goal at 8:20, power play goal assisted by Charlie McAvoy and Charlie Coyle. Then Boston took a 3-0 lead. David Pastrnak, Brad Marchand, the assist, and Zelcha with the assist. Going into the third, it was 3-0 Boston. Mitch Marner does get a goal for Toronto to make it 3-1, but the game was already over. The damage was already done, and Toronto just did not have an answer for Jeremy Swayman. Swayman let one get by him, but that was the only goal he has given up in last night's win. Shots on goal. Toronto won the battle 25-22, and Toronto won the face-off battle 34-22, 61% for the Toronto Maple Leafs against the Boston Bruins, 39% in the face-off circle. However, this was the killer. Toronto 0-3 on the power play. Boston 1-3. They got the power play goal in the game. That proved to be the big difference. Block shots, Boston absolutely was relentless. Even though Toronto had 25 shots, 27 block shots by the Boston Bruins. They were active on the defensive side, especially after the 3-0 lead. They basically knew that Toronto was going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at them, and Boston did not relent. They did not give up. They basically, like in the Boston Celtics game, how we were saying that the defense really stepped up. Boston's defense, the Bruins defense, absolutely stepped up and had a clinic in the game. 3 stars of the game, just to let you guys know, were the number 3 star was David Pastrnak. The number 2 star was Jeremy Swayman. And the number 1 star, Brad Marchand, El Capitan the Boston Bruins. And Michael Bullock, this must be very, very good. But I know you as well. You're probably cautiously optimistic. 3-1 lead. We've been here before. But I think honestly and truthfully, this time around, I don't think there's going to be a choke job. I think Boston wraps it up and they finish Toronto tomorrow night. Just my thoughts alone.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, this is another big win here for the Bruins. Now they are just 1 win away from a trip to the semifinals, and yeah, I think if you're the Bruins, you got to finish this one up, and I think they will, because they have that bad memory of what happened last year in the first round, and they don't want to have to live that experience ever again. But yeah, a great win for them. Marchand had a goal in the game, but Jeremy Swayman, I mean, with another great night behind the net, and to me, I think if you're Jim Montgomery, I think you got to stick with Swayman right now. He is the hot hand, and until he struggles, you got to stick with him. I mean, yeah, game 2 was an absolute disaster, especially with Linus Ullmark behind the net. Even though, like you said, with Ullmark winning the Vezina last year, but like I said, until Swayman struggles, you gotta stick with him. So I think they'll finish the job tomorrow night. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Florio,
Anthony, yeah, go
what
ahead. Give us a quick thought, man. What's your sentiments about the Boston Bruins, man? They're looking like they're looking like that team possessed, but remember, there's also that little bit of that black cat, as we like to say, hanging over them, especially after what happened last year. 3-1 lead. We all remember what happened.
Well, correction here, gentlemen. It's Tuesday night, not tomorrow night. It's Tuesday.
Okay, Tuesday night.
Celtics are tomorrow night. So that's it for that. All right. Now, as far as this is concerned, history was made, guys, because Brad Marchand became the Boston Bruins all-time playoff goal king. Brad Marchand broke the Boston playoff goals record with his 56th, and the Bruins defeated the Maple Leafs 3-1 in Game 4 last night to move within one win of advancing to the second round. Marchand also had an assist. James Van Riemsdyk and David Pastrnak scored. Jeremy Swayman, 24 saves. And Boston can wrap up the series Tuesday night at TD Garden. Mitch Marner scored for Toronto, while Austin Matthews, the NHL goal scoring leader in the regular season with 69, had to sit out the third period because of an illness that forced him to miss practice on Friday. And William Nylander played after missing the first 3 games of the series because of an undisclosed injury. Samsonov started in goal for Toronto, stopping 14 of 17 in the first 2 periods, and then Joseph Woll made 5 saves in the third. And, frustrations starting to creep onto the Toronto bench as the period progressed, with Matthews and Marner getting into an animated discussion. Nylander was caught on camera muttering to himself before Marner slammed his gloves. And the Bruins, who topped Toronto in 7 games in the opening round in 13, 18, and 19, made it 3-0 with 42 seconds left in the second on David Pasternak's goal. It was about time that David Pastrnak found the score sheet. I mean, he hasn't really done much of anything. I mean, he's the lead. He's the leading goal scorer for the Boston Bruins, and he definitely needed to get on the score sheet. And I was very happy to see that. Charlie Coyle, 13 faceoff wins. I mean, that led the team there. Pastrnak, like I said, finally getting on the score sheet. Boqvist with 5 hits. And Pavel Zacha with an assist, also had 5 faceoff wins. They didn't really do much in the way of hits, but they had the timely plays and the timely goals. And Marchand continues to do some big things for them, and keep Swayman in there. Swayman is definitely the better right now, even though Ullmark is coming off of a Vezina Trophy winning season from last year. Toronto played very well last night, even though they didn't win. Austin Matthews had 11 faceoff wins, and Ryan Reeves with 4 hits. Tavares, 9 faceoff wins. He also had 5 hits and 2 takeaways. Tavares, one of the best players from last night for Toronto. And Iabushkin with 7 hits. He also had an assist. Edmondson with 6 hits. McCabe, 5 hits. Riley, 5 hits. I mean, they had more hits. They were the more aggressive, but it's just that the Boston Bruins had the timely goals at the time they needed them. So now a golden opportunity to put it away on home ice on Tuesday night, and we'll wait and see how it plays out. But now the big question is, can the Boston Bruins, a win on Tuesday night, and they will most definitely get that bad taste that also sour taste of last year out of their mouth. I mean, coming off of that record-setting season they had a year ago with the 65 wins and 135 points, they were the odds-on favorites to win the Stanley Cup last year, and they had the Florida Panthers down 3-1, and we all know what happened after that. And, well, now they've got Toronto in the same boat, and you know the mindset going into Tuesday night when they go back to Boston, and that is, we've got to finish it here. We've got to finish it here. We cannot let what happened last year happen again this year. So the pressure is on for the Boston Bruins. They got to put this thing away, because God forbid, last year, if we get a repeat of last year, look out. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, Bullock's gonna go off. You know who's gonna go off, and anybody in the Boston media is gonna go off. So my advice is keep swimming in net and keep doing what you're doing. Finish the damn job, and Tuesday night, put these suckers away the first chance you get. So that's it. So not much more to say. MF, as the old saying goes, we save the best for last. And if MF and I have a bit of a spring in our step, well, MF's going to tell you why.
Well, yes, indeed. Here we go, guys.
Buddy.
This was it. As it was the New York Rangers going up against the Washington Capitals. And this was the chance for the Rangers to be the first team to advance to the second round. And they do it. They do not hesitate on it. The New York Rangers finishes off the Washington Capitals, and they put them away in a 4-0 sweep. Bust out the broomsticks. It is a sweep in the first round. The Rangers can say that they're the only team that can do it. What President's Trophy curse? So, yeah, about that. So, Rangers win it 4-2, knock it out Washington, and it started out in 57 seconds. Capo Caco benefiting from a miscue by Washington, as they basically, Ryan Lundgren came in, put a little defensive pressure. There was a little bit of a fumbleitis, and here's Caco, puts it right on net, goal. 57 seconds in, 1-0 Rangers. Thank you very much. And then Washington does get the goal back. Farbery getting his goal. That was at 14:54. And then right before the end of the period, there was a controversial call. Some of the Capital fans were a little upset, but the Rangers were like, hey, Reds call power play, as one of the Washington Capital guys basically tried to go knee to knee on Adam Fox. Thank God Adam Fox was okay. He didn't get seriously hurt, because man, that could have been bad for New York. But Vincent Trocheck getting the goal. This man is the MVP of this series. I don't care what anybody says.
You're here.
Power play goal, his third of the first round. Mika Zibanejad and Terry Panarin getting the assist. After one, it was 2-1 New York. Second period, LaPerry, he gets the goal for the Capitals. That tied the game at 2-2. So we had to sell a little bit of a barn burner. Going into the third, and New York gets the power play, and that number 3 power play team in the regular season caught fire. Power play goal, Breadman, Terry Panarin, Mika Zibanejad, and Adam Fox with the assist at 13:21. Then, right before the end of the game, with about a minute,
It was 3:21 of the third.
3:21 in the third. But then, right before the end, at 19:09, empty net, power play, Roslovic, goal. Alexis Lafreniere, Jacob Trouba with the assist. That was the dagger that ended the series, sent everybody home, and the New York Rangers does the handshake line with the Washington Capitals, saying great series. And of course, Washington wishing New York the best of luck in round number 2, because that's where the Rangers will be going. Final score of this game, 4-2. Rangers win. They have advanced to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoff. And here is the breakdown. Shots on goal, Washington actually outshot the Rangers 25-23. Face-offs, what was really New York's strongest suit. And at the time, they were averaging about 58% on the face-off. Tonight, it was a wash. Both teams won the faceoff 26 out of 52 times. It was a 50-50 split right down the middle. What was the key difference? Power play. Washington 0 for 2. New York 3 for 4. That is unheard of, especially for the New York Rangers, because the Rangers, like we said, number 3 in this thing, and the Rangers scored, and I need to do my math here, but I think they said 6 power play goals in this first round was scored by the New York Rangers. And remember, they also had 3 shorthanded goals on top of that during this series. This was pure and utter domination by the New York Rangers. That's why they were the President's Trophy winners. That's why they were the best team in the NHL. They went against a team that many people believe had no business being in the playoffs. And New York, basically, by no big surprise, and by practically every prognosticator, did what exactly they thought was gonna happen. Blowout, domination, a sweep right out of the playoffs. So 3 stars of the game. Before I toss it over to Anthony Florio, the 3 stars of this one were for the Washington Capitals. Martin Fabre getting the goal and 1 point. Number 2 star, Mika Zibanejad with the 2 assists. And the number 1 star, Breadman, Terry Panarin, number 10. You can even say maybe even candidate for the Hart Memorial Trophy. 1 goal, 1 assist. And then, like I said, our MVP for this series, as far as the member of the New York Rangers, Vincent Trocheck.
Amen.
This man was on a mission. He looked amazing. Thank you, Chris Drury, for making the move to bring this guy over to New York. Yes. Because this guy has been an absolute blessing for him. And I gotta even say, Roslovic has also been a little bit of an unsung hero too, because of the fact that he got during the trading deadline. We scooped him up, and there was some Ranger fans that were a little uncertain about why were we picking this guy up. Well, now you know why. Look at what he's done. Absolutely amazing. There's really nothing more to say. I can go on for days for all of the superlatives for the New York Rangers. Anthony Florio, come on in. Bust out the broomstick. We just swept the Washington Capitals right out the door.
Ovechkin out. So let's address the big elephant in the room, MF. How many points did Alexander Ovechkin have in this series?
He was shut out. 0. Yeah.
Shut out. 0. That's why
I say
Ovechkin out. So, oh, what a sight to see. I mean, here's a guy who's been who how many times over the years did he kill us in the playoffs, man? I mean,
yeah.
But now we got him. Testament to the defense. Ovechkin off the score sheet entirely. No goals, no assists, no nothing. Huge, to say the very least. And what else is there to say except Artemi Panarin. MF, who did I say needed to step up more than anybody?
Yeah, you said bread man. You called for him.
Yep. And what happened? Series winning goal. Artemi Panarin scored the go-ahead goal on the power play early in the third. Igor Shesterkin made 23 saves, and the New York Rangers advanced to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs by finishing off a 4-0 sweep of the Washington Capitals with a 4-2 win in Game 4 tonight. Trade deadline pickup Jack Roslovic sealed it with an empty netter with 51 seconds left, and the Rangers will next face either the Carolina Hurricanes or crosstown rival New York Islanders with a spot in the Eastern Conference Finals at stake. Carolina currently leads that series 3-1. And they will get and the Rangers will get the benefit of some extra rest thanks to Panarin's goal with 16:39 left in regulation. 11 seconds after TJ Oshie was penalized for high-sticking Vincent Trocheck, which helped them avoid overtime or this series, returning to Madison Square Garden for a Game 5, which would not have been all the way until Wednesday night. The President's Trophy winners, for having the best regular season in the NHL, needed just 4 to vanquish the Capitals and become the first team to advance this spring. New York moves on thanks to another dominant performance from Vincent Trocheck, who was the best player on the ice all series. MF couldn't agree with that more. Trocheck, long before drawing the crucial penalty, scored on the power play and broke up a scoring chance by Alexander Ovechkin, who was held off the score sheet entirely through 4 games. First time that's ever happened in a single playoff in the Capitals captain's 15 trips to the playoffs. But he was not Washington's only problem. And part of the lack of offense was Shesterkin, who several times sparked chants of Igor from the many Ranger fans in attendance. He turned aside Dylan Strome 14 seconds after Capo Caco scored in the first minute to put them ahead, and later made back-to-back saves on Tom Wilson's point-blank chances on the doorstep. Trocheck, Shesterkin, and MVP candidate Panarin leading a victory is nothing new, but Kakko contributing made him the 11th Ranger player to score a goal in the series. That came after Nick Jensen turned the puck over on his first shift back from a 2-week injury absence, and Kakko beat Charlie Lindgren for a goal that could boost his confidence after a rough regular season. Lindgren, who has not lacked self-belief, could not again play the hero despite stopping 19 of 22 shots he faced. Youngsters Martin Verhaeghe and Hendrix Lapierre scored for Washington, a significant underdog, now able to take solace in making the playoffs as a building block for the future. And up next, the Rangers prepare to face the Carolina Hurricanes or Islanders in a series that cannot start until Thursday at the very earliest, and likely after that. For the Capitals, they go into another offseason of change with questions about the future of TJ Oshie, among others. And as far as, my stars of the game, of course, it's Trocheck. I mean, Trocheck was the man this series. I mean, I know they don't hand out MVP awards for every round, but if they did, Vinny Trocheck would get it and then some. He got a goal tonight. He had 3 hits and a takeaway, but he also won 13 faceoffs tonight. 13. Mika Zibanejad, 2 assists. He also won 7 faceoffs. Let's see. Barclay Goodrow with 4 hits and 2 faceoff wins. Lafreniere with an assist. Kakko with a goal. Good to see him on the score sheet. But the guy I really wanted on that score sheet more than anybody was Artemi Panarin, and he scored the series-winning goal. I mean, don't get no better than that. And then the captain, Jacob Trouba, had an assist. He also had 6 hits and 2 takeaways. Schneider with 4 hits. Great effort out of him. And Igor didn't have to do much. And as for the Washington Capitals, Dylan Strome, 10 faceoff wins. He also had an assist. Dowd, 7 hits and also had 7 faceoff wins. Big night for him. Malenstein with 5 hits. He also had a faceoff win. And let's see. Verhaeghe with a goal also had 6 hits. Sandin with 4 hits. And Lindgren did what he could, but it was not enough. And now the New York Rangers on their way to the second round of these playoffs, and it's the first time. We got to go all the way back to 2007 for the last time the New York Rangers swept a playoff series of any kind. Did you know this is only the fourth time they've swept a playoff series this round? And then 07 against the then Atlanta Thrashers. 1994, first round against the New York Islanders. And then I don't remember which round it was, but I believe it was in 1972 was the other. I got to look and see who that was. But could this be destiny? Because 1994, 30 years ago, when they had the best record, first round against the New York Islanders, swept them 4 in a row. This year's Rangers, President's Trophy, best record, first round, 4-game sweep. And now we got at the least a good 3 to 4 days of rest, depending on what the Carolina Hurricanes do. Because yesterday, in Game 4 of that series, the New York Islanders knocked off the Carolina Hurricanes 3-2 in double overtime. So that series got extended to Tuesday night, Game 5. So we shall see if the Islanders can somehow steal one and rally. And, two things from Thursday's show came to fruition. I said I wanted to see something out of Panarin. I got what I wanted. And MF said, hey, the Rangers could benefit from extra rest here. And we got to hope that Carolina gets somehow tested. Islanders took care of their business on Saturday. And then tonight, the Rangers put away the Capitals. So we've got a good at least 3 days of rest. Because remember, it could be Thursday at the absolute earliest. But we won't know what happens until Tuesday night when we get to Game 5 of the Islander Hurricane series. So Hurricanes up 3-1. They'll look to put it away in front of the home fans Tuesday, while the Islanders will look to get it back to Long Island for a Game 6. That happens. Oh, we really benefit. But for right now,
yeah, because then at the latest we would probably have to wait until maybe the weekend to start the series.
I'm more than good with that if that happens. So, but Thursday at the absolute earliest. So. But we'll definitely be the far more rested team, even if Carolina puts it away Tuesday. So, but tell you right now, if it's Rangers and Carolina, there's our series for the second round right there. So.
And not only that, but get ready for a dogfight.
Oh yeah,
it will not be a 4-0 sweep in that one. No way.
No way.
That is gonna turn into a dogfight. That could be.
That's going like, 7 easy.
Yeah, because last year was like that too.
2 years ago.
2 years ago, that's right. 2 years ago.
2 years ago in the second round, and hey, we got our own bad taste out of the mouth because last year we got embarrassed by Jersey. So,
yep.
So bad taste of last year gone. So hopefully we're on to bigger and better things. And as the old saying goes, if we want to be the best, we got to beat the best. And we're very likely going to go up against a team that many quote unquote experts have as one of the as one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win the Stanley Cup in the Carolina Hurricanes. So, but we'll wait and see what happens. So, congratulations, Rangers. MF and I could not be any more delighted with the outcome, and we'll get to chill for a few days. And we don't know when the next Ranger Roundup will be, but we will have the Celtics chat tomorrow, and then we'll incorporate the Bruins beat into Wednesday's show. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, if you have a quick thought, feel free, and then we'll get on up and out of here. Well, I guess not. So, all right. So, okay. All right, Bullock. Rangers advance to the next round, and they now await either Carolina or the Islanders. Earliest it could be is Thursday, if not later, if the Islanders keep winning.
Yeah, but like you said, I mean, the Rangers did their part. They pulled off the sweep. So yeah, now it's on to the next round, and yeah. So there's really nothing more for me to add on to it. So it's yours, Fletch.
Well, or it's actually back to me.
You.
Yep. Yes, sir. So, all right, gentlemen, that will indeed put the bow on this special edition of TXN Sports World. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in, as always. We'll be back with you tomorrow night, 11 p.m., following Raw, right back here on the Tone 25 for another edition of Ridiculously Raw, as we will have our review of Monday Night Raw, the go-home show for Backlash France. So get ready for that. And then from there, we will what we'll do is we will have I will also have a TNA pay-per-view preview. Well, not really a pay-per-view. It's a TNA Plus special. The name of which two words that MF loves very much. Under Siege. That's the name of the event. So I'll have a preview of that tomorrow night. And then, time permitting, we will also have the Game 4 edition of the Celtics chat, as we'll get into the Celtics and the Heat game number 4. Celtics look to go up 3-1. Miami will look to even it up and make it a pivotal Game 5 when the series goes back to Boston. Wednesday Night Madness. Good old MF Michael Fletcher will have it, as we will have NXT Spring Break-In Week 2. We'll also have AEW Dynamite. And we will also have the Bruins beat. The Bruins beat from Tuesday night. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll be celebrating the Bruins. Hopefully that would be great. And then from there, Thursday night, TXN Sports World. It is our annual NFL Draft recap special. You know how we do it, team by team, grade by grade. We'll get into that. And then Friday night, special show, Cerebral Smack Talk. MF, your show is going to make history. SmackDown emanating from Lyon, France. So, and we will also have a preview of the Backlash France pay-per-view. And then Saturday, the recap of Backlash France, and maybe some more Celtics, Bruins, Rangers stuff. We'll have to wait and see how everything plays out. But that's the tentative schedule for right now. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for Ridiculously Raw, it's Anthony Floyer here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for Michael Bullock, and of course, always and forever, our First Lady, Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Monday, and until tomorrow night for Ridiculously Raw, you've been watching the special edition of TXN Sports World, the Celtics chat, the Bruins beat, and the Rangers Roundup right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and StreamYard.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye. And let's go, Rangers. 4 down, 12 more to go. Good night.